Okay, we are live. Hey,
Happy
okay.
Game of Thrones Day.
Welcome back to the Game of Thrones A House of Dragon after show. I may seem weird right now because I'm on my phone because of technical difficulties, but hopefully I can switch later on. I see one person is watching. If you're in the comments, can I see the comments? Yes, I will be able to. So some housekeeping stuff. So you guys, we're gonna be doing this show every single week. As long for the 10 weeks that the show is on. Well, now it'll be like 8 more weeks. So make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with this weekly, and also like the video and tell all of your Game of Thrones nerd friends about it, so we could all chat about it and have a conversation about it. Because let's face it, it is the best part about watching this show is probably talking about it amongst your friends. Yes. I feel like I wanted to say some more housekeeping stuff, but I can't remember. So I'm gonna start by asking you guys, and I have like handy banners this time. I'm gonna ask
Oh,
you
nice.
guys, how do you rate this episode? On a scale
ah,
of 1 to 5 dragons, by the way.
I'll go first. 3 out of
Okay.
5 dragons, once again. Maybe 2.5, actually. I don't know. There was a little less going on this time.
You think there was less going? Okay, I rate this one 4 out of 5 dragons.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm going to go 2.8 out of 5 dragons.
this is very.
I feel a little bit. Actually, okay, so there was less going on, so I was going to go with a 3. But there was also some parts where I was like, yeah, it didn't really make a lot of sense. So I went with a 2.8.
A 2.8.
Yeah. I want to describe my scale, by the way. And I did grow out some locks for the show.
That's
Um,
really
I love
impressive.
your Targaryen
yeah.
locks.
Yeah, it was
So
just like I knew that I had to do something for the show, so I really like squeezed my eyes real hard, and then I was like, I grew out some hair.
hi,
That's
Chris
Um,
exactly
Dang.
what
So
Matt Smith
Chris
did.
Dang agrees with Sailor Tortilla and Andres. So did
nice,
you
yeah.
want did you
So
want to explain
yeah, my
your
scale
scale?
5 obviously is like a perfect episode.
Yeah.
4 is an episode where like something happens that's like unforgettable, and everything also works around it. 3 is just a baseline, like good development, like episode. 2, some stuff doesn't make sense. 1 is like pure trash episode. All right. So I felt like there were a couple of scenes that I thought like, what's up with that? But not enough to bring it down to a full 2. Specifically, the scene where I was like, that didn't quite make sense was, and maybe somebody can explain it to me, but when Rhaenyra goes to Dragonstone and Daemon just like gives up the egg, gives up, like, she kind of got her way a little too easily there.
I have theories about that.
Okay, maybe somebody can explain it, but as I was taking notes and it still didn't like really add up, besides, she's cool and a badass, but like there was no incentive really for him to give it up.
I don't know. I thought it was just because she was leveraging the fact that she has an existing relationship with him. She probably even, and we might hear this in the next episode, but she may have just already called his bluff on the woman and the marriage. Like maybe she just like, oh, that's just my uncle doing some nonsense. Maybe.
I'm gonna enter the studio from my computer, so please talk amongst yourselves. Okay.
Okay. It did seem like she was calling his bluff on all that stuff, but I still don't get why he kind of gave up the egg, gave up all of his leverage just in that.
But why did he take the egg if there was no
conversation.
baby? It's like, why did he take it in the first place if they like proved he didn't even need it? There was no baby. So it's kind of I think it was just like him being petty, and then I don't know. It was, I like the cinematography in that part of the episode. That was really cool. But I kind of agree, when she showed up, I was like, well, he is a dragon, she is a dragon. Maybe that's her best defense. Maybe she like, because like earlier in the episode, she's like, Dad, you have dragon riders. So it kind of just came back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Hello.
Awesome. Hello. Okay, computer is so much better. Okay, so I actually wanted to start the show. Sorry to go back. I wanted to start this show by reading my notes really quickly because I took very succinct notes. Okay, I want to start from the beginning. From the intro. What location is this? I'm kind of peeved they use the same song only because I thought they would like to separate themselves a little bit, and they didn't.
I wanted a new song too.
I actually just preferred like the little opening graphic they had last week over.
I mean,
over the same song, and I mean there was new
kind of
visuals,
the same thing.
Yeah,
but it was stupid.
I think it's the dragon pit because that wasn't King's Landing, was it? I was like, where are we? But I think it's the dragon pit. I couldn't tell.
Was it Valyria?
I don't know. I will be skipping the intro from now on though, so you guys can let me know if it changes.
Yeah, I was in the kitchen when the intro was going on. I was like, I got to make this podcast thing on time.
I almost hit skip intro, but I wanted to make sure there wasn't anything kind of crazy that popped up.
So then I wrote, what location is this? And then, okay, I'm just going to speed my way through. So some of this may not make sense. Free cities, stealing ships. Rhaenyra speaks out. She kind of reminded me of Olenna. Are the soldiers even fighters? Oh, Kristen is a fighter. Oh, they're teaching her politics. Oh, a moment with the dollhouse and Alicent. Oh, Daemon
the dollhouse
is not chosen. Let's join houses. How old is Lena? She's like 8. Oh, this is an awkward dinner between Rhaenyra and her dad. Maggots to fix the finger. The king and Lena have a walk, and she'll be, ready to be bedded at 14. There's a little heart-to-heart with Rhaenyra and Rhaenys and Alicent. And the king, again, Daemon announces that he is the heir. Dreamfire was taken. Dragonstone, how do you not take a dragon rider with you? Oh, wait, there's Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra and the king have another.
Wait, so you're like typing this, like, why?
He has chosen Alicent, and now Corlys is pissed off. Valerion and Daemon conspire. And I like this quote: "Our worth is not given; it must be made." Those are the end of my notes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that you've mentioned these two guys conspiring, can I just say that the expository dialogue right there of Mr. Sea Snake saying, yeah, so my brother was the king, and then, I did my thing, and so that's how we ended up right here. It's like, that felt very not Game of Thrones. I took off half that point. That was because of that.
That scene.
Because why exactly? I'm sorry. Can you repeat?
He was like, here's my family history. And then you see Matt Smith and he's like, wow, I didn't know your brother was a king. Like, what a weird way to deliver that information. It was so like, show, don't tell. That was more like, tell, tell all the way. We could have had a flashback episode with that guy. It would have been cool.
That didn't bother me.
Yeah.
But clearly I
didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I was already thinking about the next episode at that point. Because I could tell it was wrapping up. I was like, I'll see the whole season. I guess they're gonna focus on getting this crab feeder guy. Any thoughts on him?
Yeah, crab feeder. Does that guy have grayscale? Who is that? Is that like the White Walkers of the show?
I don't know. Let me tell you.
I have no idea.
I don't want to give away a lot from the next episode. I did see the trailer for next week, kind of by accident. I know a lot of people like to avoid it.
Did Taylor see it?
But I saw the trailer, and as I was trying to turn it off to not get too many spoilers, I did hear the line, "Crabs will soon dine on all of us."
The crabs will dine in hell.
I was like, oh God, no, they wrote it down and they said it. Two bad decisions.
I don't even remember that line because I was so focused as to what they revealed and what's happening in episode 3.
I know they did reveal revealed a lot.
I
was trying to turn it off as quick as I could, but I did. Damn it. Crabs will soon dine on all of us. I was like, no.
I think the crabs stole the show. I couldn't stop thinking about the crabs. Like, it opened with that scene and the guy's like, crab's eating my leg. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, that scene in Mary Poppins of the old lady that's like, feed the birds. It's like, feed the crabs.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a lot more crabs. But it's just kind of like bookends to the episode. Also, considering the episode is called The Rogue Prince, I'm kind of surprised how long it took for Daemon to even show up. There's a lot of just talking about what he was doing.
Yeah, well, I kind of wanted to talk about that eventually. So I wanted to talk about some of the characters that they get their moments during the episode. So if we want to start out with the king himself, Daenerys Targaryen, who is being pressured by all sides that he needs to pick a new wife. So now it's been like 6 months later. There's a bit of a time jump. 6 months later, it needs to pick a new wife. So we keep seeing Alicent is continuing her visits, and then also the House Valyrian have made him a proposal to marry off their daughter. So what did you guys think of that storyline and that decision?
Well, let me say in general, he's being pressured to do everything. I don't know. Is there anything that he actually wants to do? Like
open his wife up.
It's like, should we build a bridge? Should we?
There is something he wants, and that's to marry Alicent, because he was advised that you need to go with Corlys's decision because you don't want to lose him as an ally. But he went with his loins, apparently. He was like, fuck that, I want to marry Alicent.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I would have liked to have seen him give like a more coherent explanation for why he avoided the political choice. I mean, I assume obviously he just likes her more, but that was another, like, I knocked off kind of 0.01 for that as well, because it just seemed a little like I knew he was going to do it, but I was like, they're not really explaining why he's going against like the politics of it. And then when you cut to the next scene and Corlys is talking to Daemon, I'm like, damn, the stakes were like really high, and he just kind of was like, this one's hotter and older. Basically, it was like the gist.
It might just be that simple.
But
I think it is. He also like likes her, I guess.
Yeah,
like, she likes the sandcastles, and
I didn't know where he was going to go, just because we saw that scene where he is asking his small council dude, what should I do? And also, even though you kind of see where it's set up, because like the hand is kind of like pushing his daughter to fuck the king. So I feel like eventually we were going to see that, but I didn't know that he would make that decision in episode 2. So that kind of did surprise me there on that aspect.
Yeah. He's also being pressured to do something in the Free Cities. He's being pressured to do something about his brother. He doesn't really want to do anything about it. So once I saw how little Lena, whatever was, I wrote down, love that they went there.
Ew.
Of course you did.
I mean, they did.
It's like so like Game of Thrones for them to be like, all right, what's the next like thing we have to set up to show that like in this universe it's like not the same moral universe at all. And then also I felt like, you know, they did it about as respectfully as they could, because they're like, they acknowledged that like he doesn't want to really do it, and like you feel bad for her. Like nobody wants it except maybe the dad, I guess, but
not even her mom wanted it.
It's one of those things where like the politics, the stakes are so high that like it had to be heavily considered. And a lot of people were like, it's the only thing that makes sense. But what is Chris saying?
Should be someone who's familiar with the family instead of making an evil.
You got to read it out loud for the audio only listeners.
Yes.
If he gets a new wife, it should be someone who is familiar with the family instead of making like an evil stepmom. Perhaps, maybe. I think when they show his private talks that he's keeping secret from his daughter with just Alicent, I think that's they're doing their job of showing us instead of just telling us why he chose Alicent. Because I'm not surprised he chose her. I'm just surprised that they did it on the second episode. So
yeah, they're rushing through stuff too. I also wrote down people travel fast already, because that was something that like in the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones, you would watch people like they're like going from one part of Westeros to another, and that's like a full season of like character development, the travel. And towards the end, when they started rushing shit and it got like the writing got really bad, they would just be like past the wall within like 2 seconds. And I did realize that like they decided they were going to Dragonstone, and like the next scene they were
we got 2 characters with dragons. Daemon has a dragon, which is why you can fly to Mr. Seahorse Man. What?
Okay.
I think he's talking about Otto and his men.
Yeah, everybody else.
No, Otto got there after the princess got there. Like they made a point of saying like the princess is here, but like literally everybody else isn't.
She showed up after.
Really?
She showed up before. They were like, the princess is here. He's like, she was gone.
Wait.
I don't remember that scene at all.
Oh, that's fine.
Regardless, you know, they decided they were going to go to Dragonstone, and then the next scene they cut to like Otto and Dragonstone. There was like no
it was
travel
different.
aspect to it. They're trying to get through certain parts of this story quick already, which I don't really know completely where the story is going. Obviously, there's like some kind of civil war brewing, but yeah, I noticed that already, that people are already traveling fast.
The only thing that I see them doing on purpose is like, remember that Alistair was not friends with the princess in the books, and now she is. Like, now we're gonna get that whole like, oh my god, you're gonna marry my dad. That's gonna be weird. That's a new thing they're going for.
Yes, I remember you had mentioned that. And just talking about Princess Rhaenyra, because she was at Dragonstone, and we see her also stepping up a little bit to her duty. And just so I wanted to take a moment to talk about her in this episode and her scenes. What did you guys think about her scenes?
I like her footstool. I like that she picked Mr. Hottie McHotpants. But at least they gave her a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a good reason. I kind of agree.
I agree too.
Yeah, I like that as well. I wrote down that she's like very pragmatic in a way, but not political. So obviously that is something I admire in a leader, but it also seems like something they're setting up that is not going to be a weakness at some point. That she's a little too like to the point and not considering alliances. And you kind of saw the same thing in her dad.
Robb Stark. She's the Robb Stark of the show.
Yeah, Robb Stark. I mean, Viserys just made the same basically decision that Robb Stark made in a way. Very close, very close.
Yes, I agree. I feel like she's still in that position where she feels like she has to prove herself, especially since people around her are all telling her he needs to pick a new wife. He needs to pick a new wife. So like, I think like her position is always kind of like threatened because, you know, if like a new wife means a new baby. So I like that she wasn't afraid to stand in a room full of men and giving her opinion. You have dragon riders. Why don't you just send us? I like that. And I liked that she went to Dragonstone to stop the bloodshed. And for me, I think deep down, she knew that he wouldn't do anything to her because they do have that close relationship, which you kind of saw in the first episode. It almost kind of seemed romantic, even like when they were entering that throne room and he gifted her that necklace. Like they have that sort of connection. So I think she was betting on that in that relationship that they have, that he's not going to kill her off.
I don't know if it's a romantic relationship though, but to your point, I like that the queen that never was straight up told her, she's like, oh, you're the cupbearer. Like you're nothing. You're the water boy. You suck. Like know your place.
I love that scene because it could seem like she's been like a hating ass bitch, but what she's saying is like the truth, right? Like these men would rather see the throne burn instead of seeing somebody be queen. I love that scene.
Well, I had like a different take on that scene, which is maybe what she's saying is true. I guess we'll find out in the long run. I'm sure there's a bit of truth to it, but it's also very convenient for her to think that, right? Because she doesn't want to feel like she was the problem. If this younger person can be queen and she couldn't, then that means there was something internally that's like that kept that from happening. You know what I'm saying? So if she thinks it's just like, oh, that she thinks she's going to be queen, but she'll get like screwed over at some point too, that's a little more comforting for her character to believe. But it'll all be kind of disproven if Rhaenyra actually becomes queen, which is like probably partly why she also doesn't even want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Possibly. Yeah, I liked that scene, especially whenever, I mean, I don't know the formality, but I felt like she was kind of like talking down her a little bit. Like when Rhaenyra was always calling her princess in that tone. And I was like, ooh, she's not afraid of this. Is that her aunt? No.
That's like her aunt?
Her second cousin, because Viserys,
it's Viserys' cousin. So it's her dad's cousin.
Yeah, I think it's
Not,
first
right?
cousin once removed, if you want to get really technical.
Second cousin. I say second cousin.
Nope, it's first cousin once removed. I've had this argument.
I don't know what removed means. I never retain it.
It's the generations.
I don't know.
Well, I got notes. You know what I forgot to mention? Oh, we haven't spoken about Daemon. Are we going to talk about Daemon?
But I want to hear your notes first. Go ahead.
Oh, well, no, I was just saying, well, if you want to dive right through, there's a small little moment where Alistair and King Viserys are playing with that little baby dragon. Oh, no, not the baby dragon. It's the scene where they bring out the tournament knights. And they have they're like, house, whatever. And they put like a little bird and then the guy appears. I don't know if you guys ever played like Skylander, like the Skylander Spyro game. You'd take these little figures and you'd put them down and the character would appear in your Xbox. Oh man, it was just like that. That was what King Viserys was playing. What I really love is when they said that, oh, Daemon stole the dragon egg. Oh no. But the guy says, it was the hour of the bat. I love that. My note here is Hand of the King is the worst job. Like you have poor Rhys Ifans putting on armor, like he's going to go to war. Like that guy can't fight. Oh, Dark Sister has a long neck dinosaur dragon.
I didn't notice.
Oh my, she was like, ah! It was like a brontosaurus.
Wait,
but
Dark
Daemon
Sister
had little
is
rubies.
Sword, homie. Dark Sister is his sword.
Then what's the dragon with the long neck?
Is the name of his dragon.
I love it. It has a really long neck. And I do love that they put the egg in a little Dutch oven, like a little slow cooker. They just got it out steaming. It was like fajitas. They bring you the fajitas.
Yeah.
Oh, for a moment, they had that lady who couldn't talk that was not pregnant with a baby, whatever her name was.
Syria? I think.
My something with an M.
Yeah,
but I thought, it's Dragonstone. That's where Jon Snow looked at cave paintings and said he loved Daenerys for some reason. And then suddenly behind the lady are the cave paintings.
I didn't see cave paintings.
Whoa, I didn't notice them either. But
I couldn't understand that lady at all.
What do you guys think about that character? Do you have a little graphic for her?
I don't.
So
I think she's going to come into play. Like I think she's going to be
like the first Asian in the show we've ever seen. And I found out recently that the world of Game of Thrones, this land, there is an Asia counterpart. It's like way to the east.
Easteros. Yeah, I think I actually remember hearing about that back in the day.
South continent, East continent, West.
She must be from there. But she I hope they either kill her off or like she just stops talking or something because I have no idea what that lady said.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
I have my
I am not in my homeland.
I have my closed captions on, so I saw.
Oh no,
what she
I have
said.
them on.
I have them on.
But you try to watch.
But when she was talking, they were harder to read.
No, her accent was a little bit distracting. I was like, "Whoa, she's speaking," and it's like very. Like,
I was wondering what the accent like.
I don't know
what it was supposed to be.
Which city is
if
she
it's
from?
Just the actor, or like if they're trying to represent a certain part of the map.
Yeah,
but I thought what she was saying was
map.
like kind of interesting, and I feel like she's not going to get killed off anytime soon. I think she's going to be
I think she does magic. She looks like a red witch.
Ooh.
Maybe I think she's going to be like almost Daemon's hand. I feel like she's going to be real tight. Like there's nobody else he can really be himself and consult with. So I think she's going to play kind of that role.
Do you think we're going to meet his first wife from the Vale that he says is ugly?
I hope so. I want to see how ugly she is.
I hope so. Yeah.
I want to see who she is. I hope we see her. I don't think we talked about him yet, right? Well, we're on him now, so let's talk about more about Daemon Targaryen, the rogue prince.
He's got little rubies on his leather outfit. It's cute.
Yeah, so he has Syraxes, and I will say shout out to the dragons on this show because they actually all look different. In Game of Thrones, they all look the same but different color. But in this
a long neck, and it's got a funny eye.
But the dragons in this show, like some of them have horns or like they're narrower, and I was like, all right, y'all learn something, make them different. So we see that he has named himself heir. He has seized Dragonstone, and he has stolen his dead nephew cousin's egg Dreamfire, and that pisses off the king and Rhaenyra. And you guys feel like he kind of like what's that word, like fell back too easily? And I'm surprised you guys are saying like nothing happened. I feel like a lot happened in this episode. What do you feel like didn't happen?
So let me clarify my point. I feel like there was a lot of development in the episode itself. I just feel like the first episode had like a pivotal moment that was very dramatic in the birth, that everything kind of, the development before the birth was like leading up to that moment, and then everything after that came from it, and it was like a really great scene in my opinion. Whereas I guess maybe I don't even know what that scene exactly was in this episode, if there was one. I don't feel like there was. Maybe some people would say the Dragonstone scene. Maybe some people would say him picking a different wife. Yeah, but
I think
that was a little anticlimactic for me. I'm not gonna lie, because they didn't set it up as well as they could have. I mean, they showed that like, you know, they had a good bond and chemistry, and they showed that the other lady was way too little. But
we're talking about
I wasn't convinced of like why he would jump over all of those politics and do that. Like, they didn't convince me that the character was going to do that. I just knew it was going to happen because it just seemed like it had to. Like, that's where the show was going.
Decision. It seemed like a childish, like, I'm not going to do it because you said I'm going to do it. Like, it just seemed like rebellion and nothing else. But I love that you brought up Alicent Hightower, because that scene in the Sept, we only saw the Sept, maybe a few times in Game of Thrones. So this is the ancient Sept with all those wonderful candles. I just like that scene. I like seeing the Sept. It reminded me of the people with the faces, like that place, the grandeur.
The Faceless Men?
Yeah, their temple.
That
it was a little like that.
It also reminded me of the same thing as well. I was like, oh, it's kind of similar. Are we in Essos?
Must be the same team, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And I just reminded myself, even though it seemed like the hand of the king, Otto Hightower is kind of like playing his daughter as like a puppet, because he's obviously kind of pushing his daughter for his own agenda to be with the king. But but I feel like maybe Alicent may have something on her mind as well. And I feel like it's hard to explain, but I feel like I saw something in her eyes, because I don't know if maybe she kind of knows like what her dad is trying to get her to do, but maybe she's going to kind of like flip that on his head and like kind of use that to her own advantage. So
no, she definitely knows. My question is she okay with it or not? Like, she obviously recognizes that the king is a very hurt man.
She has her own plan, is my point.
Yeah. No, I don't think she has. What would her plan be? She doesn't seem to have any aspirations.
I don't know, because I don't know.
I'll kind of echo what you guys are saying, which is I feel like I know the least about her, and in some ways she's like the least interesting character, I guess, because she seems just like a friend to all, you know, like she's got a good relationship with the king, and she's like, you're a pretty cool guy. And then she's like, yeah, I'll talk to your daughter. Like,
well, that's my thing.
And she's like, the daughter likes her, the king likes her. She's like not really doing or saying much. She's just like a friend to all.
Hey, Dragons Forever. Let me know your rating on the episode, and thanks for joining.
I like that username.
I don't know. I feel like she's scheming and plotting, perhaps.
You think so, huh? Maybe in the long term.
She's sweet for that.
Was she so sweet? No, but she has a way that she looks at Rhaenyra sometimes, and she kind of seems sometimes kind of peeved at Rhaenyra for not acting in certain ways. Because I remember that in that first episode, she got mad at Rhaenyra for not, like, I guess, taking her position seriously. So I feel like she has like her own agenda there. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think maybe if anything, that's more of what it is. It's just like kind of trying to fit into her role and like what's expected of her. That's what I get out of that character, is like that's why she was a little upset at Rhaenyra for like not being prepared for her like studies or whatever and all that stuff in episode 1. Is like, that's the type of character it is, you know, I am
Goody two shoes.
a lady born into this life, and I will have to like do certain things. But I don't see anything like terribly interesting about her yet, to be honest.
Interesting.
Do you guys feel like this episode gave us less to talk about?
Well, I gave it a 2.8 for a reason.
I actually, I wrote down more notes, so I'm on.
Oh wait, Dragons Forever says don't judge Alicent by her cover.
Don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, wait, Dragons Forever. No spoilers, but do you agree with me?
Wait a minute. So she does have dark aspirations. That makes me a little excited, though. I like that.
In her eyes, I feel like she's a good actress.
Everybody's a great actor. Everybody's great.
Yeah, it's
especially okay. Now let's talk about Otto Hightower because he is shifty, but he's like obviously shifty. While his daughter, it's like she could, she's shimmering. While he's for sure not trustworthy. Otto Hightower.
Is he kind? Is he hurt? Like what's his deal with his wife? Is he using that as a weapon or does he genuinely miss his wife? His daughter certainly does, but I don't know. Like I can't read him yet. I think that's great. That's like a product of being a great actor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he is genuinely hurt by his wife. More going back to episode 1, that moment he had with Daemon. Like Daemon knew that was a great way to get under his skin.
That's true.
So I think that's a legit thing. But I do struggle with like how like schemy is the character versus like how honorable he is. I kind of lean more towards like the honorable side. I feel like he feels like he has to look out for the king a lot. I think that's what I get out of him.
The king does make some dumbass choices.
And I think maybe the decision to sneak his daughter in there might come a little bit more from that as well. Like he feels like the realm is really in my hands. Like I'm just being responsible. So let me put as many people around the king as possible to like make sure everything goes smooth.
I'm a lot more cynical because his own agenda. I'm a lot more cynical than you because I think he's doing that so he can get his own foot in the door with power. Otto Hightower kind of reminds me of Littlefinger on the OG Game of Thrones, kinda.
Oh man.
So I mean, I do agree that it does like same result at the end of the day. It's increasing his power by like having all the right people around the king. But I think he's kind of the intentions are different, whereas Littlefinger was just more like power hungry. He's like, I have to keep things like. So a big part of the storyline is like how much like peace and prosperity there's been like leading up to Viserys taking over, and I feel like there's a lot of pressure to keep that going. And Otto Hightower is like thinks he can kind of keep it going by putting the right people around Viserys. That's how I read the character a little bit.
Yeah, I think we would question him more if we didn't see King Viserys just make these impulsive decisions that he does. Like, I'm not marrying the one that's going to just save the kingdom. I'm going to marry the one that's a little older because I'm a modern man. I don't think he is. But if we hadn't seen him make these decisions, would be like, what's Otto doing to good King Viserys? Like, he's a good guy. His finger's falling off. It's like watching like someone like not follow their doctor's advice repeatedly. Like that's what it seems like that guy's doing.
That's something that I wanted to bring up was the dead finger. We're just going to go back to Viserys really quickly because I feel like they keep taking moments and showing like his sort of declining health, sort of.
Yeah, he'll be dead before the end of the season.
Yeah.
That much.
I think so.
He won't be making it out alive, and he cut his finger in episode 1, so like his whole ass finger is like dying already.
Diabetes.
Yeah, six months later, his finger is basically gone.
I like the pace of the show. I like a 6-month skip. It's like that's enough for stuff to happen.
I wonder what their intention is. Does anybody know their intention in terms of like how many seasons this is going to go?
4.
4?
Yeah, they just got renewed for number 2, but they did say that they had 4 planned out.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like they have to have this one planned and like the pacing planned and all that stuff because Game of Thrones was a mess. King Viserys is the new who?
Robert Baratheon. God bless Bess and her tits.
Yes, we did. Robert Baratheon. Yeah.
Baratheon.
Yeah, I feel like that in episode 1 we kind of made an allusion back to how Robert kind of died like in this lame way of like hunting, getting like an infection from a boar.
Yeah.
Like have you seen
accident,
a boar?
And I think Viserys is gonna die of like similar little wounds that just add up over time.
Death by chair.
From the Iron Throne, yeah.
Death by chair. So what would you rather die, from a chair or a hog?
Yeah.
This is the hard-hitting questions we need to ask.
We got to see a little bit more from Rhaenys Targaryen, and we touched on it a little bit. Do you guys have any further thoughts about Rhaenys?
I love her. I think they picked the best actress, and I'm going to be sad when they age her up.
Age her up? What do you mean age her up?
Oh, you're thinking Rhaenyra.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Rhaenys.
Okay. Her hair is tall. That's it.
I like Rhaenys. I think she's an interesting character. Like I said, I think she's got that conflict of like, she's kind of like, yeah, you know, women. Like, I hope she kind of like wants women to do, but like, I don't think for 1 second she actually wants a queen that isn't like her. You know what I'm saying?
It just hurts her personally. It's like when you don't get a promotion, but someone else is like, I'll get it. Like, oh, don't know.
Yeah. As long as she can like blame like the system, like then she'll know that like there's nothing else she could have done. But if Rhaenyra actually pulls it off, then it's kind of like
pain.
Yeah. And I like that. I like that conflict that's there.
I agree. I think she wants to, if there's going to be a woman on the throne, she wants it to be her.
Well,
got it. Dragons.
She's got an interesting relationship, by the way, too. That guy's a character.
I hope they don't.
Wait, we're talking about her husband?
Yeah,
he's seahorse.
One that's like begging them to like marry.
Please marry my 12-year-old daughter. You old man.
By the way, it looks like 8 to me.
Yeah, I just love that his sigil is literally a seahorse. It's a little horse.
He's the sea snake.
But why is it a seahorse?
Because there is no seahorse emoji, so I have a ship here because he
emoji.
Yes, I have sigil because there's no seahorse emoji. And
but his actual thing is a seahorse.
His sigil is a seahorse, yeah.
But it's like the body of a horse with a mermaid tail.
Did everyone laugh when they cut to Viserys and the daughter and they saw how little she actually was?
Oh, that. No, for me it was the maggots.
I've seen pictures of her, so I was prepared for it. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, I think once I saw her, I was like, oh, she's in the first episode. But when they were talking about her, I was like, that didn't cross my mind that's who it was, you know?
She's a little baby.
So when the Valerians were talking about joining the houses, I thought they were talking about, because they also have a son. I thought they were going to say, have Rhaenyra marry our son so that our houses could join.
Wait a minute. Melissa,
that they were going to suggest for the king, Viserys, to marry their 8-year-old child.
But wait, Melissa, are you telling me that solution could just solve the whole plot of the show right now?
I don't think they have that kind of time.
I don't.
Oh no, that's not good.
All the problems, no, because they keep saying like he needs a new wife, he needs a new wife, he needs a new wife.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to solve problems today, like the crab feeder, because if not, crabs will soon dine on us all.
This is the new White Walkers.
I know, it's so ridiculous. These might actually end up making sense.
What would the crab version of the long night be?
I don't know. But
the red lobster.
Valerian is very concerned about these people who are out there. They're pirating ships in the free cities, right? And then
were they not attacking Westerosi ships and bringing them into the free cities to let them feed the crabs?
So it seems like they're just generally controlling. In the first episode, it seemed more like they were attacking pirates, but now it just seems like they're generally taking control over that trade route more and more so. And that's
this was in the first episode?
In the first episode, they said they were attacking people already. Like that guy has been on it since the beginning. He's like, we need to do something.
He's majorly concerned.
He was concerned about that triarchy or whatever it was in the free cities that was attacking pirates on that trade route. Viserys didn't do shit, like he never does. And then now it's escalating to the point where he's willing to align with Daemon to handle it.
Yes. So then that brings us towards the end of the episode where Corlys is pissed off that King Viserys did not announce his new wife to be his daughter, but he chose Alicent. And he said, this is an absurdity. And then he's pissed off. So then he's going to go ahead and conspire with Daemon to, I guess, not listen to the king and go to wherever they are to go stop the crab eater people. And that's how it ends. So
I can't wait to watch him like destroy these people.
I thought that was a good setup. So that's like another thing that happened, y'all. It's a good setup for like more conflict because that's going to piss off the king that they didn't listen to him.
It was definitely your classic Game of Thrones setup episode. Just a few things felt a little clunky to me. And there was nothing to put it at a 4. So between that, I settled on just below a 3 out of 5.
I was very enthralled and I was excited at like the pieces moving because of the things that they do set up. And I liked again how Rhaenyra was trying to take her position more seriously now that she's the chosen heir. So I like that. And I like that we got to see more dragons as well because I like the dragons, y'all. It's called House of the Dragon and I like them because they are fearsome creatures. So I was excited about this episode. Dragons forever. I was pissed off at the announcement that King Viserys made at the end. You mean when he chose Alicent as his wife?
What a weird choice.
It wasn't surprising, only because it happened a lot sooner than I thought it would. They're moving fast.
Well, like you mentioned, it was very Robb Starkish. Oh no, you said King Robert. Well, it was very like another King Robb Stark.
King of the North. It depends on which Robert we're talking about. There's like Bobby B, and then there's Robb, just regular old Robb.
Yeah, Robb made choices like that, and we know how it ended. But don't worry, I'm sure the chair will get him before any of that.
Well, that's like a good question. Do you think he'll be murdered, or will he literally die from his wounds?
I want to see him die from his wounds. I want the makeup crew to go full prosthetic and like this. You know, sometimes I think in the first episode, I didn't mention this last time, but I think they were using practical effects like puppetry for some of the dragons, and I thought it looked really good. So I want them to go like full blown, like have his face melt off or something. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's your prediction for how Viserys will die.
His face will melt off.
Do you have
locking it in
for the upcoming season?
Predictions. I don't know about predictions. It looks like obviously Daemon and Corlys are going to attack this crab feeder guy, try and get control of that trade route, which would give them a very powerful claim to more power in Westeros. I think a good move would be for Viserys and the people in King's Landing to maybe to align with the free cities against that move.
Against Daemon and... Yeah,
that seems like the natural course. But we'll see, because Viserys doesn't really like to do anything.
He doesn't, because he's trying to avoid war. That's because his grandfather, right, was the one who had like 60 years. So he's trying to like...
Exactly. So that was another good line from Corlys. Is, you can sail through it or around it, but you can't wait for it to come to you. So we'll see where that goes.
Okay. Cool. I wasn't okay. Do you guys have an MVP of the episode for yourself?
Okay. So Rhaenyra did a lot. She did a lot, but like I just like that Daemon held his sword up like that for like 5 minutes. That like swords are heavy. Actually, you've got a sword. That's gotta hurt. And he did.
I've been holding it up this whole episode for you guys.
But he was holding it straight out for the cinematography, and that was really nice. I like that we get like Game of Thrones season 5 looks in season 1 of this show already. I just think it's very aesthetically pleasing.
It is aesthetically pleasing.
The cinematographer was the MVP of the episode.
So MVP, I'm gonna go dual MVPs for this one. I feel like the power couple that was driving the plot was Corlys and Rhaenys.
Oh my god, I
Rhaenys,
thought you were gonna
right?
say the little girl.
No. But hey, if there would be no little girl without them throwing her in there. I'm telling you, those two drove the plot for me today, Corlys and Rhaenys. So
I want to know about his house, like more about it. It's more ancient than the Targaryens.
Driftmark.
Like, what if they had
I saw a
sea
video
demons?
saying that they were in Westeros before the Targaryens. So
That's what he said.
yeah, that is interesting, and they are like the richest as well. So MVP for me was Rhaenyra for all the reasons that I had talked about during this episode. She does seem like she's not really getting it politically, but I do like that she, even, you know, she didn't want it. She was chosen, and she's doing her best by moving beyond being a cupbearer and actually speaking out and saying what her opinion is. So I enjoyed watching that.
I liked her too.
Oh, show. Cool. We did it. That was fun.
Another one in the books.
Yes. So you guys, for all you guys who are watching this in the future, we literally do this show right after we watch it. So in a way, we're still kind of digesting and downloading. So if there are any errors and mistakes, please be gentle and just let me know nicely in the comments. It's all good. And remember to subscribe because we're going to be doing this show every single week. And let me know your thoughts and your rating between 1 and 5 dragons. What worked for you? What didn't work for you? Everyone, what is Dragon Forever? I liked her as well. Yay! We love the agreement. See you all for episode 3. Yes, Chris Dang. So excited that you're going to be joining us for this ride. Episode 3. Don't know the title yet, but it's somewhere out there on the internet. Andres and Taylor Tortilla will hang back with me backstage as I say bye to them, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Crabs will soon dine on us all.